like, or that you just want to beat up on the side of the street or something. That's the way they feel. So I have to stand up for them because they're my employees, so I am standing up for them. I think decorum is the thing we need, and let me continue. We have 22 days between meetings, okay? You put us in a bind when 2 days prior to a meeting we get information for the agenda. The agenda should be ready to go 7 days prior to a meeting so that it can be published and put out there on Facebook and in newspapers or whatever. And so when we get put in that spot to be on the witness stand and have a last minute chance to explain something, we're not prepared. So it's very hard for us to look prepared when we don't get the time, when you don't do your job and get back with us. I think that 10 days after each meeting is when you should come to us and give us a week to prepare for what's going on the agenda. But I remember getting information through Mr. Gill from Mr. Tommy that didn't address me at all, but he told me the same day that you gave me an email at 2:24 on Thursday afternoon saying what you wanted. That doesn't give me much time to do my job or get my staff to do their job. So I'm going to stand firm and protect my staff, and I don't want to lose any of them because a lot of them are very good employees. So I think the adversarial tone in these meetings is actually bleeding out into the community where they want to come up and speak in the same tone to my employees and to us also. So that's something I'm trying to quell around here and make things better. So for complete transparency, I'm protecting my people.
Okay, let me say this right here. Hold on. Now you can see it as adversarial, but I see it as passionate. When I asked these people out here from District 2 to vote for me, I said I'm going to stand up for you all, okay? When you don't complete something, or when I come here on the number of times that I've come here and you have not been in your office, don't talk about 2 days or whatever before you get the information. Now, I don't know if this right here was targeted to me or who, but I am going to say, and I'm going to be very passionate about what I do and what I say for the citizens of Lido. Now, your employees, you know, it's called customer service, and it's called, you know what, we're in government here. They work for government, and guess what? We have to develop thick skin. Now, I'm not for anybody beating up anyone or just, you know, just targeting someone, but sometimes we have to, in the positions that we hold, we have to make hard decisions. We have to develop thick skin, and we have to just sometimes let roll off of our backs. Okay?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
And
they don't. I call myself the complaint department, okay? Everybody in town that wants to deal with me, my office is always open. And if I'm not in my office, I'm out there looking at a problem or checking on things, because when I get a complaint, I'm out there talking to people on the street about water bills. Right now, I've got my public works director been off for 2 weeks, okay? He's on vacation, so I've been handling all of those. I had somebody in my finance department off, and I've been dealing with that. You know, I've got my main secretary who's been out with surgery, so I've been dealing with all the things that normally comes to her. I'm dealing with those and the HR things. So, you know, I've been a pretty busy guy, but when there's a problem, I go look at it. That may be why I'm not in my office, because I'm not a person that's going to sit in there all day and pump out emails. I'm going to the problem and see what it is so I can address it and fix it. I can come up with all kinds of things. Matter of fact, I have a list of things right here when you ask for all the public projects that's been going on. I had a call about a stop sign down at a church. So I met the person that called me and went over and straightened it up. You know, physically, personally, I go do things to get it done like that. If somebody calls about a water bill, I go out and talk to them. Miss Gross and I talk a lot about different things in water bills. You know, I'm a hands-on person. So if you have a problem me not being in the office, I'm sorry, but I have a cell phone.
No, the problem is when you would like for me to sit across from your desk and talk to you about the things that I want. I can email you, text you, telephone you just as well. But you prefer across the desk thing. But I'm not going to totally get into this right now, because that's something you and I can talk about a little later. But what I do expect is accountability, is that we all are here to do a job. I was elected, they were elected, you were appointed, and we should be able to do our jobs and not be adversarial about it. But if you see, on my part, if you see this as adversarial, no, this is passion. This is passion about the people who I serve.
Well, I'm proud that you're passionate.
So,
Now, and also, once again, piggyback off some of this. That's your job and that's your description of your job, duty of your job, CEO of the city. Every employee, except for council, is up under your direction. Your job is spelled out through ordinance and everything else. When you took on this job and knew about this job and applied for this job, exactly what was done. Well, I kind of talked to you about all that. But nevertheless, you knew the job was ins and outs. If somebody's out or whatever else, you're covering for somebody, those are your employees. That's why we changed our form of government in 2014 from city manager, administrator, to city manager. Because the city council did not want the responsibility of day-to-day operation. And that includes a stop sign falling down, that includes hiring somebody, firing somebody. That city council at that time did not want that. And it worked out fine if city manager do the due diligence and responsibility of what they've been hired to do. Your job is not to scrutinize what I want to put on the agenda. I send you out an email, and anybody else, I won't need to send them out to it separately. These guys here, about, and that's not 2 days, but days ahead, at least a week, about what I get to the meeting, what that's on the agenda is not even there. You put what you want to put on the agenda. That is not your job. You work, hold on, you work for us, the council. We hire and terminate you. The same thing those citizens out there would tell you. When they come up with that change, this had to be voted on. We go from city administrator to city manager structure. That is our form of government. And if you look for the definition of what a city manager's duty and job is, it is not scrutinize what the agenda item goes on the agenda from the city council. Your job is to do the things that your job requires you to do by this council, by these citizens. Like Ms. Vanessa said, we are hired and fired by these constituents. I've never seen you pound my street for as petitioning for me to run for this office. Matter of fact, I had nobody, all by myself. But I had a passion, I had a desire, because I have a love for Swanee County, City of Live Oak, and Swanee County, and these voters here. That's my job, that's my duty and responsibility as the elected official, is to do just that. Not only in my district, but in the City of Live Oak, period. So, if you get back in line with what the form of government that we have, a whole lot of things can be done. These letters that were sent out, folks come up, I'm gonna ask them a question. They open the door. If not, then answer the question for your employees.
So I'd like to make a comment.
Sure.
If you give me a chance to do my job, I'll do it. That means giving me the information for the agendas and plenty of time to get the agenda ready.
Read this for the record real quick?
Sure.
Just to clear something up, just a moment.
Yeah, that doesn't apply to us. So, and I can maybe, having some experience with other entities. So, yeah.
May I respond back to?
Oh, I don't want to get in the middle of it.
Well, I'd like to finish mine then.
Sure, go ahead.
I thought you.
So the bottom line is,
Okay.
in the state statutes, and most every place I've ever been on any boards, the information should be in prior to 7 days before, so advertisements can be made and things put in the paper, and then the staff has time to prepare for anything that might be put on the agenda. Since you didn't send me anything and you gave it to Mr. Gill and mentioned it, it wasn't direct to me. Y'all are supposed to send things to me so that we can discuss, and then we can discuss whether it should be on the agenda or not. We may even be able to discuss it out to where it doesn't even need to go on the agenda when you just have a question.
No.
But when we fill up everything with the agenda with things we've never discussed, or I haven't had a chance to prepare, then you're not giving me a chance to do my job.
Well, what about all, look at these items that you got on here, up under you. All these items. We've never sent these out.
Oh, yeah, the center manager performance review and contract, one of y'all asked for that, so I put it under me.
Yeah,
Capital
I
projects
asked-
was
I
asked,
asked for all of
Yeah.
those things.
and the CDBG grant
Yeah.
update was asked
Yeah.
for,
Yeah,
so
all of those
I'm the one to
things.
answer those. So yes, they were asked for, because she sent it to an email form to me.
I think we send John, he asked us, because he need to have time to put it on the agenda and all of that and send it out to our citizens and everybody else. Then you get a copy of the agenda and they'll know what's going on. And I don't think it's John asking for stuff 2 days, because John is more proficient than that.
You sent yours on Wednesday to him without me being included, and Miss Vanessa sent hers on Thursday to me and John.
I didn't see, I
That wasn't
CC'd
7
you.
days ahead.
I CC'd
No,
you.
you did not. I have
I
a
CC'd
copy of it
you,
on my
well,
desk.
good. But nevertheless, that's the city clerk, secretary of this board.
But he's
All
not
right,
running the
we
agenda.
are required to send whatever he needs on that agenda item. Now, it's up to him to get it to you and whoever else that's, there.
Yes.
That's how the form of government works,
No, it's not.
That's how it works. That's what these folks ask for.
I'd like to say something. I've been on the council and as mayor since 2014, when the city manager / council form of government came into being. Prior to that, and I talked with Mayor Sonny Nobles, he had much more authority to do things than the present mayor does. That was changed in 2014. I understand that, I accepted that. I have a lane that I need to be in so that our government functions. I think that Mr. Sessions would agree that I'm do my best to stay in my lane, try to cooperate and work together, and to do what my duties are. Try to do that with the council as well. Where I feel like we may have missed it in some ways is when new council persons come on and when new city manager comes in, we probably should have taken time to have training sessions on how the government in Live Oak, which is different possibly than other cities. There are over 400 cities in the state of Florida. Not all of them function the same. To go over, and I think it would be a smoother operation. So for that, I'm sorry that I didn't push for that, because I think that would help us.
No, no rebuttal that.
Now,
I was on that appointment board before I became a council, when they were making the transition. Matter of fact, I was the president of that committee as far as we moving from city administrator to city manager. We questioned a whole bunch of folks, even the former city clerk, Jimmy McCullough, about certain things. Even because the biggest problem was why some of the powers got towards the mayor. Hold on.
no,
Why the mayor's
but
power.
that's not what I'm discussing. Let me finish, because I'm not questioning what they did or what the outcome, because it is what it is now. My point is that we are where we are now. So there are roles for each of us. The mayor has a role in the city
Yes.
of Live Oak. The city manager does, the city attorney, the city clerk, and the city council. Now, the mayor can do some things, and there's a lot of things the mayor can't do.
Of
But the
course.
mayor can call for a workshop. And what we're discussing tonight, I think, is more workshop material than to have it out in this meeting tonight. We've got a lot of items here, and I can stay here as long as anybody. I don't care. It's not about the time, but we got a lot of items here that we need to get to. And I'm going to suggest, and I'm going to call for a workshop to be determined when it's convenient. And I would like to get with the city attorney. I know he has much experience, and he works with other cities There are some things I think that the city of Live Oak, in combing through the charter and the law, and I would like to have someone, I think this would make sense, it would be up to you, because I can call for a workshop, you don't have to come. But I think it would make sense.
Is that directed to me?
No, I'm talking
Oh,
to
okay.
everyone. I said, no one has to come.
Okay.
I can call for a workshop, no one has to
I got a
come.
little angry there.
So, it's going to require your cooperation. It's not, I can't just call it and you agree, you may not agree with it. But I do think that if we had some person who could speak, and speak boldly to all of us and say, this is your lane, this is how it works, and let's work together, because we're all passionate to represent the citizens. We all love our community. The Christmas on the Square was a great time. People came in our community. It was a time of community, and I was proud of our city, and I am proud of our city, and I think you are too, and you want to represent these folks. I think it would help us all. I know it would help Mr. Sessions. He's got a tough job. He's got a tough job. I don't know how many times I've said to numerous people, I wouldn't want his job. It is a very difficult one. And we need to help each other. And I want to do what I can to do that if I can. So that would be what I would want to do, is to call for a workshop. And you again would have to agree to that or cooperate with that.
No, let me read it.
And I have a suggestion. Obviously, we are involved with the district, mainly for communication. So, how I saw the eye coming. So, one experience I've had is, and I don't remember the timing, but so many days, 10 days, 2 weeks before an agenda goes out, some cities have what's called a pre-agenda meeting. And that is known to the council members for that particular council or commission. And they know that whatever they want to be considered to be on the next agenda, it has to be in by that deadline, whatever that deadline is. And then that's usually attended by the attorney, city manager, finance director, and then those requests, in addition to requests from departments, are vetted in that meeting. And there's a consensus determined as to whether or not there is enough investigation in order to put that on the agenda so there can be a meaningful dialogue. That goes to some of the things we're talking about tonight about when we put things on the agenda. And so these things have to be, or should be, adopted by policy, so that this council and more importantly every other council follows that policy unless a majority votes to change it. So my recommendation would be, prior to any workshop, which I'm in full agreement with, and between the mayor and I've got other attorneys that candidly have a lot more experience in the area than I do, that have dealt with this very issue. A lot of other councils have more turnover than we do. We've had some stability. But I would like to have the council consider me meeting with the council members individually to get your input on agenda items, what sort of policy y'all think would be fair as far as timing, and so that we have an established deadline. You meet that deadline, or it'll be considered for the next month's agenda. And some councils meet twice a month, so it makes it a little easier, to get stuff on. You're not waiting a month, you may be 2 weeks off. But I'd like to get everybody's input on the, number one, an agenda policy. I have some proposals. And number two would be to go over a policy as to specifically council and staff interaction. Because again, what has happened in the past, and I think it's maybe, and I don't know that I haven't been involved with the annex people, since that was an issue tonight, but sometimes a citizen may come up, and I've seen this happen before, a citizen comes up with an issue, and then Public Works is told to come to the podium and address that particular citizen's concern. And I think that's part of the problem, is that number one, public comment is public comment, not question answer. It's for staff to get the concerns of the public, and then hopefully investigate those and make contact with that citizen after that investigation. I think that's been some of the tension in the past. But again, my recommendation, and it would be up to each of you individually, but I would be glad to come, at a set time. We can use the conference area and come down. You give me your views.
Mr.
Because
Attorney,
again,
Mr. Attorney.
if I may finish, Mr. Jefferson,
No, because tell me, what is your due responsibility towards this board? Is it handling legal matters or making your recommendations to this board?
it's kind of both.
What does it spell out in your contract?
I don't know, Mr. Jefferson,
Well, find out,
because
please.
nobody, that wasn't on
Because
the agenda.
you're trying to tell us about some other cities. We're no other city. These constituents,
No,
this city, hold on, this city have adopted how they want a form of government ran, not based on your opinion. You live in Lake City. Go there and stand before that council, I don't think ever, and then tell them your opinion. You live there. But here,
I don't think you understand what he's saying.
I'm about trying to ignore some of that stuff, because worrying about what some other city does and how some other city handles it is not our responsibility. What we have adopted here in the city of Livo, then we abide by that. I've called the state and then talk with legal. They said whatever you got in your city charter, whatever your city have adopted, that's what you have to go by, Mr. Jefferson.
well, again, we have a policy for decorum, which right now is probably not being followed. But the council can make policy to make everybody's daily lives go much smoother, whether that be establishing office hours for things, if y'all need more contact with me, let's talk about it. But in a public meeting, it's very difficult to get to those minute details. So I'll simply say this: for any council members who wish to avail themselves of meeting with me and look at some potential policies, which these are policies we don't currently have, and I think it'd make life easier. That's just my opinion. I would love your input, especially on the agenda issue and how we could formulate a policy from each of your perspectives and points of view, and maybe under our current form, what is or isn't appropriate for council and staff